mind for a lot of reasons. But many times in the ministry, when you become popular, it kind of goes to your head. And I appreciate that not happening. He's got a big heart, but a humble mind. And I appreciate that very much. I had him come do a Sing Praise program 10 years ago or so, some time ago. And he had just been at Boron there and had done a concert for a love offering. And I was kind of shocked. I said, you know, the leader of Love Songs doing a concert for a love offering? He said, yeah. So that's how he goes around the United States. He just takes love offerings. And so I called him, and he was willing to come, and we just paid him a stipend for gasoline to come up and sing in that Sing Praise program. So we're happy to have him and all of our guests today. Ed Adams is our guest speaker today. You know Ed. Ed's been with us a long time. And we forgot Ed's stature. He just towers over this podium. So we appreciate that about him. Ed and I go way, way, way back into the Foxworthy days when I was a youth at Foxworthy. He came in just as I was going to California Baptist College at that time. And so we've had a relationship since then. You know, he's been our area missionary here for 11 years. And then Rick came in and did a great job. And then Ed's back now for an interim, so they're playing musical chairs with the DOM slot. But and Rick, of course, is here. Now he works for the North American Mission Board. What's your title, Rick?
West Region Mobilizer.
Yeah, well, I bet that just comes out so smooth when you know him well. West Region Mobilizer. And so we're going to encourage you to sing. As we sing, we're going to only sing 3 songs today, have some special features for you. And then following the service, right about following the service, we're going to have a lunch over here. It's supposed to start at 12:30, I believe it is.
Between 12 and 12:30.
12 and 12:30. Whenever you get out of worship, then
Right.
You come on over, and we're going to have a wonderful time of eating. And then 2:30 back here again for the anniversary service.
At the prayer retreat, the ladies, the choirs and the men's choirs, were talking about going on a mission trip to Africa. All the choirs were going to Africa. I thought, I'll think about that one. During prayer on the way to come home, they asked, has God showed anybody what you were going to do? I looked at Jenny and Debbie and I started crying. I said, I'm going to Africa. Debbie goes, wait a minute, you got to ask Robbie. God already told me I'm going to Africa. Okay. So I come home and I said, Robbie, can I go? What about your allergies? I said, God will take care of my allergies. Can I go to Africa? Yes, you can go to Africa. I came in this church bubbling. We're going to Africa. We're going to Africa. I'm going to Africa. Well, let me tell you, when you get to Kenya and you see all these people, so many people, they have houses. 10 by 10 houses with dirt floors, and they are the most happiest people you ever wanted to see. I mean, you would think, oh, how can they live that way? They are proud to have that home. And our whole group led many people to the Lord. I know our 4 group, we led 160 people to God. And what was the neatest thing of all is saying, God, use my voice. And there's one thing, and I'm going to say it away so I don't broadcast it everywhere. Their favorite saying is this, yay! And I went like that, and they're going, wait a minute, Dee can do that. Hey, Dee, get up here. So I got to get up with all of them and do it, because that's one thing for praise. That's their praise. They do that. And I'm going, wow, I can do that one. But let me tell you, when you get there and God uses you, I taught school, I taught Sunday school. I had the most beautiful time in my life.
We're all gathered here because we all believe. If there's a doubter in the crowd, we ask you not to leave. 30 years in the ministry. Way to go, Pastor Mike and Debbie. Hey, give my hand.
I can't even remember 30 years ago, you know? I go back about 20 and it starts fading. That was 1982, wasn't it?
It was.
It was, 1982. Praise God for that. I bring greetings, I bring commendation and all. Congratulations from 60 to 65 churches in the High Desert Baptist Association. God is in charge. He'll guide us in the future. Jeremiah 29:12 said, "For I know the plans I have for you." First Baptist Rosamond in 2012. There are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. So I want to challenge you, First Baptist Church, in 2011, 12, and 13. I want to challenge you, Brother Mike, to lead strongly these next months and years. Because Satan will be against you. Satan will try to defeat this church, guaranteed. I challenge you to be strong. And you will, if you consider the past, identify your purpose, and in the power of the Spirit, claim the future. Good job.
And their two children, Nicole and Eleanor. And Michael and his fiancée, Brooke.
30 years is a very long time at one local church. The national average goes up and down between 3 years and 18 months back and forth over those 30 years. So it's generally uncommon to stay longer than 30 years at one place.
What difference do you see from 30 years ago until now in Roseman?
Well, my gray hair is one big difference.
When you look in the mirror,
look
right?
At some old pictures of the Acts Channel debut in the area and see some waistline enlargement and some hairline decline. You see that and you recognize that you're just like anybody else, growing older and older and older, and that's why it's so important to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. But I think in my life, I think the biggest change over these years for me has been that the church has changed its focus, not so much in a negative or a positive way, but in a basically demographic way. So we came to Roseman many years ago, as you're aware. It was a much smaller town, about 2,500 or 3,000 people. Right. But our church was stabilized at about 80 people, 60 to 80 people in attendance. And we in Roseman, First Baptist, had about 60% military people here and maybe 40% of the rest of the community. And it's swapped out completely in these years, and we've now got just one or two base family represented at all. The average attendance from the base is just a couple of people.
Well, they kept you here for 30 years, so you must have had some success. So my next question is, what are you going to do for an encore for the next 30 years?
I think for me personally, I've told my people that for me personally, I'm turning my eyes not away from Roseman, and that's hard to explain because it's true. I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, I'm turning my eyes towards the world in a lot more focused way. So our ministries here at First Baptist are largely social, and some evangelism here in our local area, but they're also largely aimed at Mexico and then out into the world. We go to Mexico twice, 3, 4 times a year with a program called Baja 2020, where we will take in our church of 4 or 5 people from our church, 6 in this next time over to San Felipe, and we will ask 2 churches from the Baja area to join us, and they'll each send a team of 4 or 5, and then we'll go 3 churches strong into one city in one pastor's field, and help him reach his community, but also help him with his buildings, with the areas that he thinks are a little bit weak. So we've done a lot of painting, a lot of remodeling and things like that in the last 2 years there in Baja within the church area. So we've done a lot of work in Baja. We're seeking again to go out to the world, so we'll be in Bolivia in a month preaching the gospel there.